Hello, my name is Blake Baxter, and I'm the Media Relations Coordinator and Sports Information Director at Eureka College. Today I'm joined by Chip Wilde, the head coach of the Eureka College men's basketball team, and we're here to check in with him and talk a little bit about basketball. Chip, it's been a while, and I've got a bunch of fun questions for you, but first, how are you doing, and what have the past few months been like for you?
We're doing fine. It's great as far as spending more time with my family, with Darby and Zoe. I think that it has helped with some creativity things. I think that we've had to be a little bit more creative in doing things, whether it's socially or through basketball or just having dinner. So it's definitely been an interesting a couple of months. As far as our basketball program goes, I couldn't be more impressed. I couldn't be more proud of our guys. I think that a lot of times people say that coaches are supposed to uh, teach and inspire and for their athletes, but I think it's the exact opposite. I've been really blessed and really inspired by our guys. This semester has been very challenging in a lot of aspects, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially. So I think that it's been awesome to watch our guys respond, and starting with academics, they've done a great job academically. What a weird semester. I have a daughter that's in sixth grade, and seeing what she was going through, and I can't imagine how our guys were kind of going through the different obstacles and challenges, but I loved it. I thought our guys finished strong academically. We ended up with 8 guys over 3.0 GPA. One of them finished with a 4.0. And I think that was probably the thing where I was worried we might lose some focus, but they came through strong. And then with all the other things going on with COVID-19 and our support of Black Lives Matter, our guys have just been awesome. We won a SLAC championship in 2019. But I think we had a lot more success this semester in some of the other things that we accomplished.
That's fantastic to hear, and obviously now's the time when players are usually flooding to camps like the ones you guys hold every year, and they're not really able to do that right now. So earlier this summer, I know you guys had a virtual basketball camp. So could you tell me a little bit about how that came to be and how it turned out?
Well, let's give credit where credit is due. My wife spent a lot of time on Zoom. She's a professor at Illinois State, and during her Zoom calls, she teaches dance. So they had to do a lot of performances and a lot of things over Zoom. And obviously at that time, more and more people were doing things, posting things on YouTube, workouts for basketball and things like that. So we just kind of came together. Darby just said, you should just do camp over Zoom. And from there, it took me a couple of days to wrap my mind around it, but it was great. We did a couple of things where we posted a few things with Zoe on YouTube, with just some workouts for her team and some of the people that are her age. And then we started Zooming with a couple of her friends and doing the workout. And then it kind of got bigger to where we were Zooming some workouts. Got up to about 40 or 50 people that we were doing the workouts with. And so then we decided to put a whole camp together. And it worked very similar to what our camps are, in the spring and during the summer. We did a 4-day camp. We had word of the day. We had topics of the day. We had contests. At the contest, after the contest, instead of, each coach recording them at camp, what we did was we posted a Google Doc, and they went in and, they could post how many, shots they made in the mic and drill, or how many cone touches they got, in a defensive slide drill or something like that. And it worked out to be, really as close as we could to a real camp. We did it on, Zoe was my demonstrator, and we did it on the driveway. And then, we're mailing out camp T-shirts. Everybody got a camp T-shirt. It was also important that we supported a local business. Bronx Sporting Goods always does our camp T-shirts. So we supported them by, giving out the camp T-shirt, and then, giving them a little bit of business during this time. We actually had them, we actually had them charge us double for the t-shirt. So it worked a little bit more like, not just paying for the t-shirt, but also for a fundraiser for Bronx. And then obviously anything else was a fundraiser for Eureka men's basketball, just like our camps are year in and year out.
You mentioned Zoe there, so everyone who comes to your games knows that your daughter's always in the middle of the action, and she's already a basketball guru. So could you tell me what it's been like to watch her fall in love with the game over the years and be by your side?
Yeah, Zoe's been awesome. She's a lot of fun to have around. It's a huge advantage that, you work at a place like Eureka College that is so welcoming to, having your family involved and having your wife and your daughter involved. And, Zoe kind of started out as just a fan, and, she was just kind of around when she was younger. And I never really talked to her much about playing basketball. I just always asked her and encouraged her. And about her fourth grade year, she kind of caught the bug. And, during this time with the pandemic, we spend more time together. It's been nice to be home a little bit more. So then we've worked out a little bit more, and she's getting to the age where, she can do a workout and she can see improvement and things like that. And she actually, we were just talking last night, she's been trying to make 7 out of 10 free throws before she goes to bed. And some days she does it, most days she does it, but the last couple nights she struggled. And I tried to explain to her, like, she has shot so much in the last couple of weeks that she's actually kind of going through a little bit of a shooting slump. I told her, like, hitters go through hitting slumps and shooters go through shooting slumps. And, even when you're lifting weights, you get to a plateau and it kind of kind of levels off, and then you start making improvements. So it's been cool to see that part of it. But just, what really is cool is how much she enjoys it. It'll be good to get back with teammates. Her stuff is going to start back up since we've entered a new phase. That's what I really like, softball for her and basketball for her, getting around, different people, different kids from different areas. It's been awesome. So Zoe's been great. It's a lot of fun to have her around, and there's not much that she hasn't seen or experienced up to this point. And she's like a sponge. She eats it up, and then sometimes we have to talk about, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. But she's been great. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. And I know that you have a number of basketball coaches in your family tree. So could you give a quick rundown of like the various coaching experiences and where they are now? And then also just like, why is basketball so special to the Wilde family?
Well, yeah, that kind of goes with Zoe. She's around a lot of coaches in our family, and, Christmas, we're Xing and Oing a little bit. 4th of July, we're playing horse on the driveway. Like, there is a lot of basketball kind of around our family. Really started with my father. My father played at Western High School in Macomb and was a good basketball player. Took his tiny Western High School team to the IHSA Sweet 16 in 1951. So it kind of started with him. He was a really good basketball player. I wasn't blessed with his height. He was about 6'6". I'm about 5'6". But at any rate, Zoe's not blessed with his height either. But then my sister married a basketball coach. So my brother-in-law was a college basketball coach and finished his career in Pekin. He passed away in 1994, but he was a big influence in my life as well. Just as I was getting into coaching, finishing high school and starting college and, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, he was, a big influence in what I was doing as far as the coaching aspect goes. And then from there, his sons played basketball. Then I had nephews that were playing basketball, just like, normal families, I guess. But then a lot of them started going into coaching. I had one, my oldest nephew currently is the assistant coach at Central Michigan University. But he played Division I basketball at the University of Nevada. I had another nephew that played junior college basketball over at Carl Sandburg College, and now he is currently the head men's basketball coach at Carl Sandburg College. I had another nephew that was a manager, student manager for the University of Arkansas. So he had great experiences in the SEC as a student manager, and now he is coaching high school basketball in Arkansas. So I guess, yeah, when you look at it, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of basketball around our family because it's pretty normal. But yeah, that ends up being quite a bit of basketball, I guess.
So you're entering your 14th year as the head coach at Eureka, and I know you've had a wide range of experiences here. So could you give those listening an idea of where the program was when you took it over and where it is now?
Sure. I think the common answer, a lot of times is, uh, you know, you want to leave the program better than how you found it. Well, the thing that attracted me to Eureka College was the tradition. It had tremendous tradition. Coach Darnell did an awesome job, and national championship in 1994, and the whole deal. But from 1994 until I got there, it was a little bit of a up and down. Went through different things, just like college basketball, small college basketball changed. It just the whole landscape kind of changed. They also went from the NAIA to Division III, and they changed conferences. So it just wasn't very stable. Now, I won't say that it wasn't very successful, wasn't very good. I think that some coaches, really did a nice job before me. And the year I took it over, they made it to it was their first year in the SLIAC, and they made it to the SLIAC championship game. So, they did a good job. I didn't take over. The cupboard wasn't bare, wasn't any type of a disaster situation when I took it over, but it was a little inconsistent in the sense that, like I said, it was going from NAIA to Division III. It was going to different conferences, and a lot of different things were kind of going on. So I'd say the biggest thing is just some stability in the last 13 years. We've been competing in the SLIAC. We've been pretty competitive. We had a couple of years where we've had a couple of hiccups, but I would think that we've been pretty successful in the SLIAC. I think that our recruiting has been good. Our numbers have been good. I think that talent has been good. Academically, we've been good. So I think that probably the biggest impact that I've made is probably just adding some consistency there.
Last month, you participated in a conversation with one of your players about mental health for the NCAA's Mental Health Awareness Week. And I wanted to ask you, what did you take away from that experience?
Well, again, I think that the timing of it was key. Dealing with things that we're not dealing with all the time, it throws you a curveball. And they say a lot about sports builds character. Well, sports reveals character is what they're saying. Actually, is that how are you going to react to some of these things? And some things are harder than others. And then when you're having a hard time, I think that you start to feel alone. And with the conversation with Jordan Dame, and it brought up a couple others. Kyler Stork commented on it. We had a lot of athletes and coaches commenting on it as well. I think that it was just good that we just know that we're not alone. Like, people aren't alone if they're struggling with certain things. And sometimes some things come easier to others. It might be something that one person struggles, might not be a struggle for somebody else, or vice versa. So you just never kind of know what's going on. So I was really proud of Jordan for coming up and stepping up. And, he has some things going on with injuries with him. And then, just competitive things and a little bit of pressure. We've never come off of winning a championship. So we had to figure out kind of how that was going. And, and then with him personally, with the injuries, and then, he had some things going on in his family, and it was just a lot going on. And, I think that sometimes we don't realize how much, people are dealing with. It doesn't matter if they're adults. It doesn't matter if they're, 18 to 22-year-old college basketball players, or, my 6th grade daughter. There's just a lot going on, and different people react differently to different things.
I know you're typically tight-lipped about recruiting when you're in the off season, but is there anything you'd like to share about your next recruiting class and what's in store for next season?
Yeah, we're good, real good. Our recruiting's great. We've got a nice class coming in. Got a little bit of everything. Got transfers coming in. Got good high school players coming in. We've got some good guard play, signed a shooter, signed a really nice athlete. We've got some size coming in, got a big kid coming in. And then we have some impact players for sure. So our recruiting class has definitely shaped up to be a really solid recruiting class. I'm looking forward to getting to know them a little bit better. Again, during this time, it was weird to not have visits and not have open gyms with our guys and things like that. And I'm anxious to get back with not only our guys but start seeing some of these new guys come in, and then obviously next fall having them on campus.
Chip, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. I appreciate your time.